Greetings, Digimon folks. Today's topic is about N.E.O, one of the strongest digital life forms in the Digimon universe, who surpasses even certain Digimon's god. Truth be told, we've been working on a major project, an hour-long video about an obscure Digimon topic, which was planned for release this month. Apparently, though, it will take more time to complete. So here we have a shorter video, as we wanted to post at least something since we're committed to uploading at least once a month. With that said, without further ado, let's get started. N.E.O is a mysterious digital life form that cannot be analyzed with current technology. In the framework of contemporary Digimon research, its race cannot be classified as Digimon, and further research is still being carried out. However, despite not being exactly a Digimon, there is a hypothesis suggesting that N.E.O may have served as the basis, atom, for the next-generation Digimon, sent by the system that rules over the digital world, presumably referring to Yggdrasil, the prominent management system of the default digital world. Its name, N.E.O, comes from a prefix derived from the Greek word neos, meaning new, recent, or revived, likely referring to it being a new life form of the next-generation Digimon. The name N.E.O is stylized with periods between the letters, suggesting that it could be an acronym, although its exact meaning is unknown, perhaps new or next, evolved or evolutionary organism. As a side note, it is interesting that N.E.O's title basis is annotated with the fully Ghana reading atom. N.E.O being referred to as atom parallels the theme of the system that rules over the digital world also being its god, a concept derived from Abrahamic religions, in which God Almighty created Adam, the first man. Similarly, this implies that the system, the god Yggdrasil, forms N.E.O as the first atom, serving as the basis for the next-generation Digimon. This brings us to the question, what exactly is this so-called next-generation Digimon? Here it is proposed that this next-generation Digimon could perhaps refer to Appmon. Appmon, or apply monsters, are a type of artificial intelligence digital life form based on smartphone applications rather than general computer data or the spiritual and metaphysical aspects associated with Digimon. Yet, Appmon are considered a subspecies of Digimon that carries on the Digimon lineage. In other words, Appmon can be regarded as the new generation of Digimon, the next generation Digimon. However, Appmon are not exactly Digimon, as they lack a Digicore, which is a core component of being a Digimon. Appmon possess several features unique to their kind. All Appmon have an Appmon chip specific to them, and almost all Appmon possess two retractable cables somewhere on their bodies, usually on their backs, which they use to Applink to connect with other Appmon. Anyway, what is being suggested here is that N.E.O could be the basis of Appmon, the preliminary form prior to Appmon. This tentative theory will be elaborated on further later. But for now, let's examine the appearance of N.E.O first. At first glance, N.E.O's contour is clearly reminiscent of Rockman, the iconic humanoid robots of Capcom. Yet N.E.O's design distinguished with monstrous elements of Digimon aesthetic. N.E.O is a childlike humanoid, cybernetic, reptile-like warrior with a dark form-fitting body strapped with red bands, a flaming orange spiked crest hair rising from behind its head, and a red helmet with a glowing blue orb covering its upper face, a sleek metallic mechanical right arm ending in a segmented robotic fingers, a purple clawed left hand, a pair of white feathered wings on its back, a black tail strapped with red bands, and digitigrade clawed feet with red tipped talons. In essence, N.E.O is a deformed bipedal chimeric creature incorporating elements of the 8 Digimemories. The Digimemories, also known as the world's memories, a set of 8 items, each representing a kind of Digimon, intertwined with the concepts of fields and species which can rebuild the digital world. As a prominent feature, N.E.O combines the properties of all Digimon living in the digital world: dragon, beast, aquan, machine mutant, holy, dark, and insect plant. N.E.O is a synthetic composite form of the Digimemories. In the Digimon Next manga, where N.E.O made its first debut, N.E.O was an artificial digital life form created by Barbamon, a demon lord-type ultimate-level Digimon who served as the manga's primary villain and had merged with Yggdrasil, specifically its avatar, Yggdrasil 7D6 in the manga. To complete the creation of N.E.O, all 8 Digi memories were required. N.E.O first appeared as a small black blob, but evolved into an embryonic form. It mutated and began developing its head, body, limbs, and tail after merging with Pitchmon, a microbe like baby-level Digimon that served as the basis for N.E.O's head. As N.E.O acquired Digi memories, it gradually gained corresponding body parts. The holy Digi memory forms its fiery orange crest of hair. The Aquan Digi memory forms its red antennae. The insect plant Digi memory forms the silver-thorned pauldrons on its shoulders. The machine mutant Digi memory forms its left silver mechanical arm. The bird Digi memory forms a pair of white wings. The dark Digi memory forms its dark, form-fitting body. The dragon Digimemory forms its right bluish-purple draconic arm with a clawed hand. The beast Digimemory forms its black bestial legs with red taloned feet. N.E.O's core feature are the Digi-memories, the crystallized fragments of the digital world's memories. These hexagonal, thin flat items contain condensed Digimon data, not unlike the Appmon chips, which store and compress Appmon into compact forms. Moreover, N.E.O has a rather deformed appearance, with exaggerated, childlike proportions, oversized heads, and compact bodies, similar to Appmon, especially the standard grade ones, which often feature chibi or super deformed proportions. This similarity may simply be coincidental, but it could also further support the connection between N.E.O and Appmon. To sum up, there is a possibility that, based on N.E.O's data, the Appmon were created. Perhaps N.E.O was sent by the Digimon's god, Yggdrasil, and was subsequently received and referenced by the Appmon's god, Minerva, a super AI, artificial intelligence, who created Appmon. N.E.O may have served as the basis for Minerva's creation of Appmon, the next generation Digimon. Anyway, in the end, this is just a fan theory, so all of this should be regarded as such. Returning to N.E.O's lore. Despite having a short physique, N.E.O possesses unimaginable power, and even ultimate-level Digimon, the most powerful beings in the digital world, are rendered powerless before N.E.O. In the Digimon Next manga, N.E.O's first act upon the completion of its form was to begin eradicating everything. Its power was so overwhelming that not even the Arbitrator Digimon, the ultimate-level Digimon duo, Victory Greymon and Z-Garurumon, which are designed to take down the Digimon's god, Yggdrasil, should it become corrupted, could actually damage N.E.O. N.E.O has 2 overpowering signature moves. Its judgment regresses everything lies before it into nothingness, as if it had literally never existed. As demonstrated in the Digimon Next manga, judgment can reduce reality to null, which N.E.O used this ability to disintegrate the digital world and even the real world. This move also creates a barrier, causing anything that approaches N.E.O, including incoming attacks, to be passively broken down into binary fragments of zeros and ones before it even has a chance to make contact with N.E.O. Also, its Zero Genesis is capable of filling the nothingness caused by judgment with new existence, and has the power to destroy and create and reshape the digital world itself. N.E.O has exhibited this power of Zero Genesis in the Digimon Next manga, where it created a new universe in an attempt to destroy the entire universe, including not only the digital world, but also the real world. In the Digimon Next manga, N.E.O was portrayed as amoral at first, neither exactly an enemy nor an ally. It focused purely on practicality, pursuing its goal of destroying the current universe and creating a new one. N.E.O was extremely powerful, a being that transcended evolution. As such, it cannot be classified as a Digimon. N.E.O was said to exist beyond Yggdrasil. Even its high-performance computational power could not analyze N.E.O. According to Mikihara Norn, the conscience of Yggdrasil, which takes the form of a girl. Even though they were overwhelmed by N.E.O's power, the protagonist partner Digimon, Victory Greymon and Z-Garurumon, continued fighting against N.E.O, who had grown gigantic within the universe it created, where it claimed to be the future. N.E.O, unable to understand their resolve, questioned why they still resisted. But the Digimon Next manga's protagonist, Tatsuno Tsurugi, refused to give up. Overcoming N.E.O's overwhelming power with the power of their bonds, Tsurugi's victory Greymon struck through N.E.O's heart, where the DG memories were held. In that moment, N.E.O realized something it had never understood. The future of the world is built upon hope, not despair that it brought. It is the bonds between living beings that grant true strength. Understanding this, N.E.O willingly dissolved itself back into the DG memories, restoring the universe and returning the future to the world once more. Aside from the Digimon Next manga, so far, N.E.O has also appeared in its sprite form in the Digimon Pendulum 20th Anniversary Virtual Pet, where it can only be obtained using the password 382594. More or less a decade after its appearance in the Digimon Next manga, N.E.O was added to the Digimon reference book in 2017, not long before its appearance in the Virtual Pet in 2018. N.E.O was included in the Virtual Pet because the Digimon Pendulum 20th Anniversary Virtual Pet is a celebratory product that combines all previous Digimon Pendulum generations, and N.E.O is a digital life form that possesses the properties of every Digimon type, making it the culmination of all Digimon and the ideal thematic boss in the Virtual Pet. And that is all there is about N.E.O. But that is not the end of this video just yet. N.E.O, being referred to as Adam, makes one think there should be a Digimon that is at least loosely based on the mythological Adam, as the first next-generation Digimon created by the digital world's god, with N.E.O serving as the basis. For that reason, here is Appmon. As usual, this is a placeholder image of Appmon based on fan interpretation, illustrating what is essentially a grown-up, adult form of N.E.O. Anyway, it is imagined that Appmon would be the first next-generation Digimon, a true Appmon and Digimon hybrid, featuring characteristics of both Digimon and Appmon. For instance, it has the Applink cables used by Appmon. Appmon would possess Digimon traits, such as an ultimate level, vaccine attribute, and Godman type classification, while also having Appmon traits, such as God grade and God attribute, with its app name being creation. However, it might be more appropriate for it to have mostly unknown traits, similar to N.E.O, or like Dantemon, an unknown grade Appmon avatar of Gates. As for the special move, Appmon would succeed N.E.O's special moves, Judgment and Zero Genesis, and share its eponymous special move, Ultimate Adamus of Gaiyamon, a god-grade Appmon god of creation, which materializes and unleashes a large energy arrow. Last but not least, if Appmon exists, how could there be no Evemon? Similarly, if Evemon exists, there should also be Appmon, which is why here is Evemon. This is also a placeholder image of Evemon based on fan interpretation. It is essentially the gender-swap version of Appmon, with many of its visual elements being the opposite of Appmon's. Even so, Evemon would still share almost all of Appmon's traits, such as level, attribute, type, grade, and so on. Thereafter, these two, Appmon and Evemon, would be a couple that gives birth and rise to the next generation Digimon. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, adios.